Now, welcome to a review of the final episode of The Penguin on Max, where it looks like Naboo is ready to give her thoughts on this final episode.
This wrapped up the season, the series possibly, in the best possible way possible.
That's a lot of possibles.
It is very possible. No, I can't imagine a better ending for this show.
I don't best possible for the show, but not best possible if you were a fan of some of the characters in the show.
But that's what I loved, is every character stayed 100% true to who they were.
And
they didn't try and turn Oz into a saint. Instead, he ended as the devil.
Literally the devil. Well, not literally, but very much could be interpreted as the devil, considering everything he did.
Like, in his character acting through the whole thing, Colin Farrell, you could not tell that was him.
Who? It's Colin Farrell?
Well, even right? The actress who played Sophie, one of the Discord members pointed this out to me that was in one of the little interviews they have, that she knew Oz, like, as a person, like, as a friend, he was such a real character that he was a real person to her. It wasn't a role Colin Farrell was playing, because as soon as he put that makeup on and he did his voice, that wasn't him.
No, he disappears into the role.
She's familiar with who Oz is as a human living person. She says rewatching those first episodes was like seeing an old friend, because he was so in character.
No, he did. Everybody did phenomenal. The acting in the show. If there aren't awards won by this show, it's
he deserves it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
All of them. Honestly, this was fantastic acting. The characters were brilliant. Watching Oz fall and rise and fall again, and then just
keeps going, keeps trucking, and he's doing it all for his mom.
He sacrificed his entire humanity in this show for what he wanted, for his greed, for his demanding of, I need to make my mother proud. He sacrificed her to do it.
He's messed up. He's a messed up individual.
I want to make my mother so proud that I will sacrifice her to do it. That's what he did. He never wanted to tell her the truth. She begged and pleaded with him, when I turn into a vegetable, I don't want to live like that. You promise me. Promise me you'll take care of it. No, he wanted to be like, no, just tell me you're proud of me. I'm putting you in that penthouse where you get to look at the Gotham that belongs to me. But you're a vegetable. Yeah,
like the funny thing is, like, it seems like it's all about his mother, but he just wants her. It's not so much that he, like, oh god, it's so complicated. Like,
it is.
Does he actually like love her, or is it just a matter like he wants that approval?
The approval, really the possessive nature, yeah.
Or does it really matter to him beyond just knowing, like, hey, I promised you I was gonna do this for you, get you into the penthouse, and now I got you there, and that's really the important part. It's not so much that he loves her, but then you have the weird scene at the end.
With Eve?
With Eve dressed up as his mom, and you're like, good God, this guy's
in his
got
mother's
problems.
Dress, with the makeup on, the hair done the same way, talking similar to her.
Yeah, basically.
At one time, I looked at it and I was like, is that, like, is he like fantasizing or flashing back to his mother? Because she did such a good job portraying her.
Yeah, she looked like her and kind of, but no, that was Eve.
That was Eve.
Yeah.
What a messed up relationship that is, because I assumed that he slept with her.
Yeah.
Maybe that's before he decided that she was going to be. Yeah, that might have been before he decided her new role is to be your mother. At least take the dress off
and, the wig or whatever else she had on.
I love that he was wearing he had the top hat and tails.
He did, yeah.
Another callback to classic Batman villain, Penguin. The fact that I didn't see the end coming. There was no way to predict what was happening. The fact that he convinced all of the underbosses to usurp the bosses of the gangs. His pitch to all of the gangs was that they don't see you. The Falcons, these big guys, they don't see you.
And neither do
We're going to all take... And now Tim goes to the other bosses, your bosses don't see you either. So he got them to knock them out, to ultimately come out as the king of Gotham crime.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming. I love that I didn't see that coming.
I love and I'm upset that I didn't see the twist with Sofia that he was setting. Like, I thought
he was going to kill her.
I didn't know
that was going to happen.
Well, what's sad is, like, I didn't think he was going to kill her, but then I'm not putting together with the scene from like 10 minutes prior where he's talking to the city hall and, like, of course he's going to send her back down. Like, killing her would be like, you killed her and he won.
Because that DA or whoever he was talking to, that official, needed somebody. He needs to come out on top going, look what I did. Yep. I got Sofia. Sofia killed her family. She's the hangman. Everyone in Gotham hates her. I'm the hero. And as long as Oz looks clean,
Yeah.
Well, we can work things out, can't we?
Yeah, and like killing her doesn't make any sense. Well, I mean, it makes sense that Oz might want her dead or whatever, but like the fate worse than death there is going back to Arkham.
Sending her right back.
Yeah,
from
that's the
her
worst
own personal
possible
hell.
ending for her, and that's how Oz wins. He doesn't just kill her; he puts her back in that terrible spot.
It is an interesting twist, though, that Dr. Rush went back to work there.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, like he couldn't stay away from her.
Yeah,
so
we called him the ultimate simp for a reason.
We did call him the ultimate simp. And then they had to throw in a little note in case you didn't remember that Selena Kyle was Falcone's daughter.
Yeah, half.
If you didn't remember from
sister.
The movie.
Yeah, which I didn't.
And he slept with a prostitute, one of his girls.
One of his girls,
One of his girls.
I didn't really put it together.
Choked out Selena's mom.
I did put it together till actually like, oh my god, that would be her half sister. Not that I didn't. It's just something I didn't think of because I didn't think it would be relevant. I suppose I should say. But apparently it will be in the next movie or maybe another season of a show.
Know if they needed to drop that at all. If they're just trying to like, here's the Easter eggs we didn't give you the entire show.
Which is funny. They didn't give you like any little ones like the police chief is back. We got to see the mayor elect.
Bella Real.
Yeah. So but those really aren't Easter eggs as much as they're just like, well, they make sense that they'd be in there.
There's the bat signal.
Yeah.
Like, unnecessary. I mean, it was there and it's not really a problem, but at the same time it didn't need to happen at all.
It didn't need to happen because it was like the one time the show,
in a sense.
In a sense, yes, but it was like the one time the show was just so on the nose that you kind of wanted to roll your eyes. Like everything else in the show feels very genuine and real. Yes, and then he's like, well, nobody can stop me, and it's like, drift to the window in the sky, and it's the bats. Like I'm not mad. I didn't hate it. It's not a problem, but it was the one time in the show it like indulged itself and like, here's a little bit of fan service. You remember Batman? Yeah, he's out there still.
And then there's the fate of Victor.
And it
cuts you to the core.
You go the entire show kind of rooting for Oz, and then he does that, and you're like, what a fucking monster. You know what I mean?
Well, throughout the show, they keep telling you he's a monster, but we don't listen.
You don't want to believe it because you want to. They're buddies, and they're
he says things like
family.
In the first episode of how all the crime people, all of us respected that guy, that gangster. He made the community better. We loved him. We had a parade when he died. And you're like, this is the kind of guy he wants to be. Yes, he wants to be. It's going to be a bad guy. But even Vic's like, you gave those people jobs. You gave them hope. And he had his first person, but at the same time, he realized that's a weakness.
Yeah.
He can't.
Because it's
he
not really
killed his heart in that scene.
It's not really about him doing those things. It's like virtue signaling in a way, where it's not. He doesn't really care. He doesn't really care about being that person. He wants to be seen as that person, as that symbol.
That's partially why when episode 1, when Alberto called him out and like, oh, that's your dream, isn't it? That's why he lost it and killed him.
Yeah.
Setting off this chain reaction, right into what happened. And that's why Victor had to kill his heart. He couldn't let him stay. He couldn't have another weakness. He already had his mom.
Yep. And it's such a crazy scene because you see the emotion. You actually, like, that might be the only time. Well, there's a handful of times with his mom too, but like you saw when Vic's like, you're like family, like it touched him. Like he got choked up a little bit, and then he's like, choked up might be wrong way to put that, because he then chokes Victor, and it's such a drawn out thing too, because it's so personal. He's just like crushing his windpipe essentially.
He's talking to him the whole time. Yeah. I'm like, oh,
please don't do. And you're like, you can just hear the pain and the fear and the betrayal. You hear it all in his voice, beautifully played.
All in there.
Yeah.
It's just heart wrenching. I mean, he destroyed himself through the series to get what he wanted, to get what he thinks he needed, to be the top dog, to have that penthouse, so I can show my mama and be proud of me. Which we don't even know if he really cared about.
No, we don't really know. That's the thing. Like, does it? I mean, he does have the weird fascination with her, but what is it?
Keeping his mother alive like that is almost a punishment for her, because hearing her say that I hate you, I hated you, I knew you did this, and I was gonna have Ray kill you. Well, here's your punishment. You didn't kill me, so I'm not gonna kill you. She left him alive, and he repaid in kind.
That was heartbreaking to see too, because you kind of understood his mom, her perspective there. Like, can you imagine you have 3 kids and one of them
killed the other 2?
Yeah, because it was
intentional.
Yeah,
he knew that door was locked.
That's what I said.
He knew they weren't getting out.
A couple weeks ago when we saw that, I'm like, I think he knew exactly what he was doing. Yeah,
so did his mother, who, for reasons I'll never be able to fathom, just she couldn't.
How do you kill your? I mean,
I know she
at
couldn't
the same
do
time.
it, but at the same time, she also hated him. She couldn't. Can you look at them again and go, "I still love you, but I know what you did"?
Yeah, how do you? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of parents out there who've had children who do, not necessarily killing their siblings, but just do horrible things. But there's that part of you just can't stop loving your kids no matter what they do, right?
But how do you forgive him for taking
you
your
can't.
other children
It's not
away?
about even forgiving. Like you
Then
can.
for never telling you what they did.
But anyway, perhaps we should wrap this one up.
Probably a good idea. We should probably move to the hammer scale, which you have to rate first.
1
through 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst.
I would give it a 9, maybe 9.5 even. It's really good. It's really good.
I would also be giving it 9.5 hammers.
Yeah.
Because the show, it did everything it needed to for me to be interested week after week.
It
never let me down. Every time I thought I could figure everything out, it threw something new in there that threw everything off, so I wasn't sitting there predicting everything that would happen. Emotionally, the roller coaster that show took you on, the water cooler talk afterwards, there's a million things about this show you could discuss forever. I never want to give everything a 10 to say a perfect show, but this was close.
Yeah.
It had everything I could have wanted.
No, I agree. Every episode was on point. Acting, writing, directing, everything worked. You never had that one where you're like, oh, geez, this episode's kind of slow, or this is just kind of they're losing the plot, or there's just too many different plot threads, perhaps, which a lot of shows end up doing.
Well, it is confirmed as well that as this show directly led out of the Batman, this show will directly lead into the next Batman.
And
so
then
it's supposed to be a bridge.
And then the next show will come out of the Batman.
Don't get greedy. Don't get greedy.
I'm not getting greedy, but do you think that, I mean, not to get into this topic, it could be its own video, but do you think that's a good idea? Do you think what this did is a good idea, assuming this actually, the Penguin is going to be a pretty big villain in the next movie, which seems like a safe assumption? Is that the way you do these shows? Where you have this story where if you didn't see this, you could kind of infer a lot of things.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's actually very critical. I mean, it
establishes this character
150%, yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting way to do the whole TV to movie thing, I think.
They said, not seeing it, you're going to be fine, I'm sure.
I'm sure you will, yeah. But seeing it elevates, probably.
Oh, my goodness, because you're going to have so much more respect for this character than you would have just seeing him from the first movie.
Yeah. Which
he's evolved since then.
Yeah. But anyway, I think that's going to be all we got for you this time. Now it is your turn. Take to the comments below. Tell us what you thought of the Penguin. Put it on the old hammer scale if you want. Whatever the case may be, leave that comment below. Let's talk some Penguin. And until next time, thanks for watching.